This is my forever world. This is a world that I started a couple of years ago with the intent of building a massive kingdom, and not just one kingdom, many kingdoms. I'm about to start season 2 on my YouTube channel, my main channel, but over there is where I started. But I would like to talk about one thing. It is, should you create a forever world? And I think you should. I think that forever worlds are really important if you wish to have something that you can be proud of, to look back on. And there are just so many reasons why a forever world is something that is very, very important for a Minecraft player. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about while we walk around my forever world right here. So first of all, you can take your time. You can come back to your world anytime you want. You can build whatever you want, whenever you want, at your own pace. You don't have to rush things. You can just do it as you like. But secondly, over time though, you will be able to see your style change. So, as you start off early on, usually your building style is a bit more simple. As you gain experience, you will have a lot more detail. Now, one thing that I did in my first forever world, yes, I've already had 2 before this one. The first one, I had big plans for it. But I found as I was going along, I wasn't really satisfied with it. I was really feeling like my style could be better, at least with that. But I do have the world. I still have the world. I can still go back into it and play around in it, explore it. And it's wonderful being able to just go back and see what I have done and how things have changed since then. Of course, when I do look at it, some of my builds are ugly. Really, really ugly. At least that's how I feel now. Back then, I didn't really feel that way. My second forever world, well, that one, I really started developing a style. I started out with rebuilding a desert village, and I absolutely loved it. I still think that was one of my best projects, and I really enjoyed it. And then I started moving on to a larger city. Unfortunately, due to some issues with a launcher that I was using, and this is for Bedrock Edition, I had problems. I lost a lot of progress in that world. And so I was so frustrated. But then I started this world. This is my Java forever world. And I am in love with this world. As you will see, we're getting... Actually, right here is spawn. So I'm right by spawn, which is really nice. So I'm building very close to it. And I feel that it's great to be able to go back to spawn and know that if I ever break a bed and I end up dying, or I guess when you defeat the dragon, you go back to spawn, right? I'm here, and I will have a build at spawn, so I have a place for refuge in case it's nighttime, which is, I think, a good idea. Now, I am getting a little bit off track there, but thirdly, you can experiment with different styles. As I mentioned, my style changed. And with the new city that I'm going to build way over there, we've already walked from there. I'm going to be building in a completely different style than I have ever done. So I will be able to see exactly if I can make it look good, you know? And this village, I have never built a village like this before, with the farms and all that stuff. I just love the feeling when I'm back here. And this is home. This house. Right here, this is home. My first house. It's very simple. And it's meant to be. I feel that in this world, at least the style in this tiny, tiny little village, my style kind of grows a little bit from house to house. Gets a little bit more complex, but it still maintains the simple country style that I started with. And I like that. I've also started establishing something else, and that is lore. Now, this world does have a story, and I've thought a lot about it. I like building stories, and this world, it needed a story. So I created it for this world, and as I go along, I am actually making books. Every house, as you can see, this is the Treylock family. There are 4 people who live here, or I should say 3 now, because one of them has unfortunately passed away. But that's part of the story. And this is the Saga of Labyrinthum, which is it's a series that I'm doing on YouTube. And it's something that I want to keep going for a very, very long time. And each season is a different location. So I like to keep it fresh. Every time I start a new location, we're starting from zero, basically. I still have the same equipment, but we have to start all over again. A new starter house and a new style. And I like being able to do that. And of course, the relations between that city and this village, I'll be developing that as well. Now, 5th. Now, this is a place that can feel like home. This village feels like home. I feel like I can come back here anytime and live here if I want to. It feels comfortable for me. But I kind of think that several other locations, like when I'm making a lot of progress on the Clifftop City, I think I will feel comfortable there too. It'll be like home, because I'll be spending a lot of time there. 6th, as your world expands, now I have built out this way, as you can see, we've got a road. You can feel a lot of satisfaction with your progress. And I am seeing that. I mean, I haven't covered a huge area yet, but everything's going to have something. I may come back here and build, let's say, a cart or, well, a wandering trader camp, something like that. I just find that when I'm working on this world, I can create this place that is just growing and growing. And you know what? Once I'm done with that city, I'm moving on to another location. And I'm going to be connecting everything together. And honestly, as I see it grow, it feels just amazing. But I think most importantly, you can play however you want. And it's your world. You don't have to worry about a neighbor or conflicting styles with someone else that you are playing on a server with. And everything is your space. You don't have to share anything. That is one of the wonderful things about having your own forever world. And it's always going to be yours. It's never going to be anyone else's. So it's something that it's very personal, I think. But when you do have a forever world, there are some things that I recommend that you do. First of all, don't rush to defeat the dragon or get the best gear. Savor the early game as long as you like. You see, in this world, I'm still in iron armor, and I am over 600 days into this world. Now, 600 days may not seem like much, especially when I started this 2 years ago, but again, I was taking my time with it, And there were times when I had a bit of burnout, but that was not related to this. I was just building far too big on an SMP, and I just wanted a break from building. But I was able to come back to this world, and I was able to finish this village, and I feel so good about it. I am so happy with this village. I was able to put life into it. Well, no villagers, but it feels like a place I could live, you know? I feel happy here. Another thing, and this is what I just did, is travel on foot, because it is completely immersive. Yeah, see what I mean? Travel on foot and get rained on. I hope that's not a thunderstorm. But that is one thing that you can enjoy, just walking around your world and seeing everything from the perspective that anyone who lives in the world would see. So instead of flying around everywhere with Elytra, go somewhere on foot. Take a horse if you need to. Or a boat, even. That's a nice way to travel, too. But, of course, if you want to have Elytra, then, of course, you can. And that is something that I will be working towards in this world, because it is a building world, and sometimes I want to be able to just go back to my tree farm and get some wood. And then use it to build some more. I will be, of course, building a lot of things around this world. I'm not keeping everything all in one place. I don't think that's a good idea, because you'll never travel. If you keep all of your farms in one small area, then you'll never see the rest of your world. You see, over there I have my tree farm. Over there I have a sugarcane farm. Well, it's over there. And so those are where I will be able to go back to get my sugarcane and my wood. There's not a whole lot of other things here. I've got sheep that I can get wool from. That's fine. But other than that, other than food, I've got lots of crops here. The thing that I'm going to be doing over there is I'm going to be building factories, things that city is going to produce, which is going to be different than what the capital city way over there is going to produce. And I think that is an excellent idea. And if you need something, you need to go back to that location. And you get to see everything that you've seen already, you know? So third thing is, give everything and everyone a name. This lighthouse is the Palat family. Every person in this house has a name, and each one has a bedroom. In fact, there are 3 people that live in this house. So we have, right here is the master bedroom. We got 2 beds here, so they are, of course, the caretakers. And this is their daughter's room, right here. And each one has a book. And let's just take a look. So you can read the book. This is kind of like a journal. And every character in this world has a journal. I want that to be purple. There we go. And as I build this world, I'm going to be increasing the number of journals and also library. When I build the library, wow, it's going to be a lot of books in there. So many books. And they will be written over time. I don't have to do them all at once. It's fun to keep adding these little things, you know? I think it's a great idea. But you can also kind of make this world like for example, we've got this starter village. This is where I started. it's kind of like a museum. Now, this goes back to changing styles. As you see your style change, as you go back and visit these other locations, you can appreciate how your style evolves. Like I think it's like a museum, you know? And I think that is a great way to look at it. And I don't know, I just love being able to come back to this village. Although it hasn't been long since I finished it. But as I build that city, oh, I'm going to love coming back here. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. You know, I don't even mind it in the rain. Look at that. Just wonderful. I do recommend joining everything with roads. There's going to be a road going off in that direction, all the way down to there, where the entrance of that city is, or at least one of the gates. And there's roads everywhere. I'm going to have farms everywhere. Everything is going to feel connected. There won't be any empty space between everything. Sometimes you'll have a road that goes a long way, but I'm going to have little things spread out around it. And I recommend that you do that as well in your forever world. Now, you don't have to build massive farms that supply you with years of resources. I'm going to be building an iron farm at spawn. Why at spawn? Because it's always going to be loaded, and iron is something that I am constantly in need of. I use a lot of lanterns. But that's not all. I'm going to want to use iron bars and so many other things. I want to use that iron for so much. So I need the farm. But it's going to be a small, modest one, because I don't need a huge amount. Really. And if this is a single player world, if you are in a single player world, you don't need resources that will supply many, many players. Not at all. You really don't need it. So, try to keep things a bit smaller, unless you really do want to build big. I mean, I will be building some big monuments. Not necessarily farms, but things that just look good, you know? And that's okay. You can build things that just look good and don't have any purpose. But one thing that I do recommend is whenever you build a farm, make sure that the outside looks good. Why would I say that? Well, you can make it look, at least you will challenge yourself to make things look like they belong in the world. And if you just have a giant mob farm that's towering up there and it's uncovered, doesn't really make it look like it's a natural part of the world, does it? But it's up to you. You can if you want. Some people do. And that's fine. Absolutely fine. Over time, you add to the world, even in places where you have built. You might add details. I do plan on coming back here and adding extra things here. That's a normal thing that I want to do. But I don't recommend tearing down old builds, because you might regret it. Because, as I said before, this is like a museum. You get to see where you came from. You get to see how you started. And I don't want to destroy any of this. I don't want to change it. I mean, maybe I'll add a few little things here and there. But I don't want to destroy it. No way. I think one of the most important things is back up your world. There are times when there may be corruption. You do not want to deal with that. That is not very nice when you log into your world and find that you have corrupted chunks. because it saved incorrectly, or it's not loading correctly, or it crashed while it's loading. You want to see something beautiful when you come, don't you? There's a rainbow. So back up your world, and don't just store it on your computer. Put it somewhere else. So put backups on an external hard drive or somewhere online so that you can recover it in case your computer crashes and is unrecoverable. You want to save your worlds. And I think that is a very important thing. But as far as your forever world goes, do what you like with it. Play as much as you like. You can play it once a week. Maybe you'll put it down for a couple of months and come back to it later. If you find yourself getting a little bit tired, take a break. If you find yourself really inspired, play as much as you want. I think there's no real rules to it. It's just do as you like with your forever world, but I think having one is just an amazing idea. It's something that you will look back on and be able to log back into and see where you started and see how far you've come. And I think that is an amazing thing. I am definitely going to keep working on this world. I have no plans to end this world. I want to keep building, and I can't wait to see what it turns into. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have a forever world? How long have you been playing in it? I'd love to hear. If you like videos like this and would like to see some more, then please consider subscribing to both my main channel as well as this channel. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.